Yeah, Shalom. First and foremost, call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kadash, double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatam, to all you sincere Akim and Akwat out there diligently listening and laboring in this truth. So back again with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just want to touch on this article right here real quick. Kentucky requires nurses to take training on structural racism and white-splaining. So what are we seeing here? We're seeing more of that shameful spewing against Esau Edom. All right? The fact that you have to take a course as a part of your nursing program on structural racism and white-splaining is all that you need to know. The fact that this is even a part of the curriculum. All right, and then this thing here is bothering a lot of Edomites because now, and then, it's not like they're not aware of it, but now it's actually being forced upon them as a part of their nursing, program, man. So a lot of these Edomites going through nursing, they're not happy about this because they have to confront their ugly history. And when you look into the neglect that Jake experiences in the medical field, it's very profound. And this is really something that they don't want to talk about and discuss, but it happens all the time. How many times have you seen stories of Jake being taken to the hospital with, gunshot wounds or, they're bleeding out or something like that, and, the doctors will just let Jake die pretty much. Or they'll pretend to help Jake, you know what I'm saying? But the whole time it's like they're not doing all that they could do to save Jake's life. But when it comes to Edomite, they go above and beyond. And there's many brothers that can testify to that, and I've seen it myself. That Jake is neglected. You know what I'm saying? They don't really care about Jake in the medical field, man. You know what I'm saying? Only if you really got money like that, you got benefits, yeah, then they'll, step it up for you. But the average Jake that is going through hell, man, you know what I'm saying? All they going to do is prescribe you some prescription pills, some pharmacia, and send you on your way. You know what I'm saying? But they're not going to really give you the care that you need to actually get well and stay well. You know what I mean? So it says here, the Kentucky Board of Nursing mandated nurses to take an implicit bias course to recognize the history of racism in healthcare and threaten discipline for failure to do so. The ultimatum to complete the mandatory continuing education training, which was developed by Kentucky Nurses Association, forced nurses to complete the training by July 1st. They pretty much said we're all guilty of being racist, and we need to examine the way that we take care of patients and change our behaviors because we are giving substandard care. And like I just said, that's well known within the medical field. See, everybody knows that Jake is not given the proper care, man. All right? But now that now that these Edomites, now that they're being forced to confront that, because you have to understand that Esau is our inherent enemy. You see, so when they love to see Jake in pain, they love to see Jake suffer, and this is why neglect of the so-called black, native, and Latino are so rampant within the medical community, man. You see, and this is all across the board. All right, all across the board. A Kentucky certified registered nurse anesthetist, I guess, with 40 years experience told the Washington Examiner. So they're uncomfortable. They're bucking up against this. They don't want this, and once again, this goes into CRT, critical race theory, all right, which none of these Edomites want to confront. They just want to sweep it under the rug. But look how many times that they've experimented on Jake. You see the Tuskegee experiment, all right, being one of the most notable, in which they told Jake, yeah, well, we're doing this for your own good. We're giving you a cure for syphilis, but what did it turn out to be actually? It actually turned out to be syphilis, man. You know what I'm saying, that they was injecting Jake with. And years later, Jake just started dropping dead, having all kinds of health complications, but they sold you the lie, right? That this is for your benefit. And they did the same thing with the C19. All right, they did the same thing with the C19, but hey, you see how that's turning out. You know what I'm saying? You see how that's turning out with people, man. I ain't even about to say too much about that. But continuing on, in order to lead to meaningful change, any exploration of implicit bias must be situated as part of a much larger conversation on racism and bias. An opening slide of the presentation states, another slide showed a large picture of Ku Klux Klan members burning a cross. I had to make a decision at that point as to whether or not I was going to bite the bullet and agree with the assumption that they had that we were all racist. Was, yeah, all you Edomites are racist, man. All right, and you saying that you're not, you really only lying to yourself. Now there may be certain Edomites that know how to hide their racism better, but overall, all of you are racist because you were raised in a racist society. You know what I'm saying? And that's just part of your makeup. You know what I'm saying? That's just part of who you are. That, you see, that's who the Most High created you to be as the wicked. You see, you just have that fervent, passionate, burning hatred in your heart for the Israelites. You see, and a lot of them don't even know why, but it's there because of a prophecy, man. All right, going way back to the garden. All right, it was prophesied, that uh man would bruise the head of the serpent. You see what I'm saying? Roughly paraphrasing. So hey, these Edomites are found out. They being exposed. You know what I'm saying? And they don't like the fact that they have to answer for their shameful history. Because what is this all about? This is all about, taking a course on historical medical neglect. Okay, on Jake. You see? People in this thing for 40 plus years, you know what I'm saying, having to deal with this, man. You see? And listen, ultimately, they just taking this so they can get to what they want to get to. But ultimately, it's not going to change anything in their heart because, you know what I'm saying, they're already aware of these things. It's not that this course that they're taking is going to change the way that they feel. They just got to take it to pass the curriculum. That's pretty much all it is. But at the end of the day, they still going to neglect Jake. You see, so this is ultimately why Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, he has to bring the justice, man. You see, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has to bring order. All right, he has to take these devils out of their rulership because they're unjust and they're corrupt. You see, a diagram of overt racism and covert racism. See what I'm saying? So you have overt racism, which is just people just outwardly being racist towards you. You know what I'm saying? People just outwardly being hateful. Then you have covert, which is, I am, so-called racist, but I'm not gonna come out and just be open, just be open with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be covert. Okay, I'm gonna hide the way that I truly feel because I have to. You know what I'm saying? So you got them two different types. Was included in one slide that suggests a white woman asking a black woman where she is from is covert racism. Now, in the medical field, why do you need to know where someone is from? If someone is bleeding out because they got shot or because they was in a car accident and they need urgent care, why do it matter where they're from? You see, but that's all a part of it because depending on where you're from, they can, root out, okay, well, he's from a rich area, he's from a poor area, what are the consequences if we just deal with them a certain way depending on where they're from? Because they know that Jake that's poor, they don't have the resources, they don't have the wherewithal to come against E, with any kind of lawsuit in the medical system. You know what I'm saying? So they could pretty much just do whatever. But a Jake that's more well-to-do, a Jake that's more well-to-do, they have more resources, and the consequences could potentially be more dire. You see, so that you know what I'm saying, that this is all a part of what they have to deal with and consider. But the bottom line is that this racism is all over the medical landscape, man. All right, and it's all against Jake. Examples of overt racism include lynching, painting swastikas, and public harassment of people of color. Covert racism includes white silence, denying institutional racism, saying there's only one human race, and hey, listen, that's what them Edomites love to say. You see, because whenever Jake brings up oppression in any form, they always like to say, oh, you're dividing, you're separating us, which is like, what do you mean? Like, we were never together anyway. But they say these things as a defense, not even knowing that them in fact saying those same exact words is covert racism. You see? So yeah, they said denying white privilege, bootstrap theory, right? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You need to do for yourselves. But what happened when Jake did do for themselves? What happened? Esau came in and you destroyed it all. Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood. What's the name of the other town? Ocoee, Florida. Lake Lanier. You see all these various black towns, man. You know, black town in Chicago. See, you Edomites with the government, you came in and destroyed them all. You see, so that whole bootstrap theory that don't work. See, that don't hold no weight because Jake did do for himself, and right after slavery too. So the whole myth of, oh, Jake is lazy and Jake is just dumb, so they can't do for themselves. All that is lies and propaganda. You see, because the real truth is that after slavery, Jake was doing a lot better than most Edomites. You see, that's really the truth. But they don't want to talk about that. Eurocentric school curriculum, weaponizing whiteness, fetishizing POC, claiming reverse racism, excusing / white-splaining racism, and many more. According to the training, racism can be a contributing factor in hypertension, maternal health, low birth weight and prematurity, heart disease, diabetes, increased body mass index, depression, anxiety, and stress. All right, so racism, they saying, can lead to all these other different type of things, which being in this system, man, is very grievous for Jake. Because there's a lot of BS that we have to deal with dealing with these other nations. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what it means. This is the result of being amongst your enemies and having to go to them for the want of all things. This is a curse unto us. You know what I'm saying? This is why we continuously pray for the downfall of Babylon the Great and for Yahweh Basham Yahushua to come back and set up a righteous order upon the earth where we don't have to be under this wicked ass system, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this system it doesn't lead to life. It really leads to death, But let's get some scriptures, though. Habakkuk 2:16, it says, Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. So right now, the foreskin of the Edomites, all right, is being uncovered, which means that he's showing their shame, all right? Because when you consider your, private parts, you know what I'm saying, your sexual organs, that's your shame. You know what I'm saying? That's the, if you don't cover up nothing else, that's the one part that you do cover up. You know what I'm saying? You might let your titties hang out, you know what I'm saying, as a man, you know what I'm saying? You might, have your chest out, you know what I'm saying, wear some shorts. But the one part that you keep covered up is your private parts. Why? Because that's your shame. You know what I'm saying? That's the one part of your body, you don't want to expose to the whole world. But the Most High is showing Esau's shame. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. So the fact that these Edomites have to take a racism course, basically a critical race theory or critical race history course to pass their curriculum, shows that there's shameful spewing upon their glory, because now they're having to face their violent, and very wicked history, man. You know what I'm saying? They're having to face it head on. And really, there's no way that they can go to escape it. Everywhere they look, they're seeing it on TV, they're seeing it on social media. Now they having to take it in school. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? We just read it. A lot of these Edomites are vexed. They're stressed out about that. Ecclesiasticus chapter 41 and verse 6. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish, and their posterity shall have a perpetual reproach. So see, the inheritance of sinners' children, which these Edomites that currently are in control of this system, they are the children of sinners. All right, they are the children of those that have done mass iniquity across the whole planet Earth. All right, their posterity, which means their heritage, their lineage. All right, their prosperous life is what shall have a perpetual reproach. So your Edomite history is now being shamed. All right, your posterity is being brought down low. Because there was a time when Edomites, they were proud to be conquerors. You know what I'm saying? They were proud to be murderers and liars and thieves, because America, land of the free, home of the brave, right? But now all that is being a reproach unto you. You see, now you having to deal with talking about reverse racism in your school courses. You know what I'm saying? CRT, which is really critical race facts, is now being taught to your children in school. So everywhere that you look, you're being confronted with your ugly history. You know what I'm saying? This is nothing more than biblical prophecy. This is the spirit of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua within the earth that is exposing these Edomites. All right? Verse 7, the children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake. You see, so right now, you have a lot of Edomites that are coming out and they're expressing grief. You see, they're expressing discontentment at the fact of their history, you know what I'm saying, and what their ancestors have done, because it's not like they just did it to Jake. They pretty much screwed over all the nations, man. You know what I'm saying? They screwed over all the nations. They went across the four corners of the earth and caused nothing but havoc, destruction, and death. All right? So now the children are complaining of an ungodly father, because a lot of these Edomites, especially the youth of the Edomites, they don't really know their history like that. You know what I'm saying? Because in school, they just teach the good parts of their history. Or I'll say so-called good, because really there is no good part of Edomite history. But they teach the parts that, Christopher Columbus came to America in 1492. He founded whatever, and, George Washington. But they don't tell you about slavery. You know what I'm saying? They don't tell you about how they slaughtered millions of Native Americans to get this land. They don't tell you how how the Europeans went into Africa and they, were brutalizing the natives, so much so to where, if a young boy, like out there in the Congo, for example, with King Leopold II of Belgium, if a youth worker at that time, this was back in the 1800s, but if a youth worker didn't meet the quota for rubber that he was supposed to get that day, then guess what? His hand would be chopped off. Straight up, like, the child's hand would be chopped off right in front of the overseer. So, you know what I'm saying? This is the brutality. But yet they like to tote themselves as we're civilized. See, everyone is, beneath us. We're the civilized ones. We gave the planet culture and this, that, the third, right? But now it's coming out that that's all a lie. All right? And speaking of lies, Psalm 5 and 6, it says, thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. Now, when it says speak leasing, that goes into speak lying words, that speak deceit. All right, which has been who? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right. The Lord will abhor, the Lord will hate, despise the bloody and deceitful man. Now, we know that Esau is a man of blood. His blessing was the sword. All right, so he's going all around the planet Earth with the sword, okay, destroying many nations, spoiling many nations, okay, distorting the truth at the edge of the sword. So the Lord said that he shall destroy them that speak leasing. You see that? We can close out on this scripture here, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So right now, these Edomites, the enemies of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua, and the Israelites, what? Are being consumed with the spirit of the Lord's mouth, which is what? Prophecy. All right, ultimately bringing out the truth of the matter. You see, because for a long time, these Edomites, they have controlled the narrative. They've told you what they wanted to tell you, and they've hidden the facts. But now, we're living in that time where knowledge is greatly increased within the earth. The internet is exposing these devils for their true history and then, how they've really been and how they really feel. You see, so now that shameful spewing is being increased, intensified upon them. You see, and hey, you're gonna see a lot more of these Edomites. They gonna come out and try to please the poor. You know what I'm saying? They gonna come out and they gonna try to offer Jake things. They gonna try to give Jake money. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, listen, you gonna see a lot of it start happening, man, because you can't escape this. All right, and especially they really gonna try to come with it when they see that their society is just falling away. They're gonna be like, well, shit, let's just give Jake, whatever that we got, because hey, to them that's gonna be like restitution. But you see, nah, it's already too late. You know what I'm saying? The Most High gonna bring that judgment. The Most High gonna bring that judgment, man. You know what I'm saying? So hey, for you Edomites, it's too late. All right, so you completely through. You finish. All right, you got to learn, take training on structural racism and white-splaining, something they thought they would never have to do. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end it right there. Hopefully, this lesson was edifying through the Rakha Kadash. In closing, call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakha Kadash. Until next time, Kum Yashala, DTA, and a Bible Ball. Shalom.